Very good morning, everyone. How are you all? Everyone fine. So last class we started internal reconstruction chapter. We have done all the accounting treatment. Any doubt in that? Any doubt in the concept? Bolo. If no doubt, then we can start with the question. So till now what we have done, ki in this chapter what is the objective? The objective is to reconstruct the company without liquidation, without going into the liquidation. Correct? How to reconstruct? By writing off all the accumulated losses which arises due to overvaluation of asset or due to past operating losses. Correct? How to write off? By reduction of paid up capital. Correct? Yes, sir. So we have done some journal entries. First we have done alteration of share capital. So under alteration of share capital there are two ways. First is what? Consolidation of shares. Second is subdivision of shares. So in this consolidation and subdivision only the class of shares change, means the face value of shares will change. Correct? Of course number of shares will also change. So what is journal entry? Whenever class changes without reduction of capital, the journal entry is what? Old share capital account debit to new share capital. Correct? Then we have done cancellation of uncalled capital. In this also there is no changes in the paid up capital. Only partly called up shares will become fully called up by cancellation of uncalled capital. The same journal entry will be done old share capital account debit to new share capital. Then we have done reduction of paid up capital first by first with changes in the face value. Whenever there is changes in the face value, means the class of shares change. The journal entry is what? Old share capital account debit to new share capital, and any reduction will be transferred to a special account known as capital reduction account. Someone asked me, sir, what is the nature of capital reduction account? It is a nominal account. Means all the gain or loss will be transferred to this account. Means reduction of capital will be gain, and of course decrease in the value of asset, etc., that will loss. So all gain and loss will be transferred to this account. Correct? Now reduction of paid up capital without change in the face value, because there is no changes in the face value, the class does not changes. Therefore, we'll do what? Old will do the share capital account debit to capital reduction. Share capital account debit to capital reduction. Then we have done other transaction of this chapter. For example, reduction of asset, increase in the value of asset, reduction of liability, etc., etc., etc. Payment of reconstruction expenses, settlement of contingent liability. Correct now. So all the gain or loss due to this transaction will be transferred to capital reduction. And then we will write off the profit and loss account and fictitious asset and goodwill, even though not specified in the question, because that is the mere objective of this chapter. Then at the end, the will close capital reduction account. Any surplus will be transferred to capital reserve. Any deficit, however, practically deficit is not possible. But if there is a deficit, the deficit means there is a loss. So that loss will be written off through the other reserve available in the balance sheet. Other reserve available in the balance sheet. We can also use securities premium to write off this loss, because once the internal reconstruction scheme is carried on, means we have taken the approval of High Court. Once the High Court permission is taken, then all will never apply accounting standard, will not apply accounting standard and the provision of Companies Act till we are going to apply internal reconstruction scheme. Once the internal reconstruction scheme is completed, then all the transactions for all the transactions which are carried on for that accounting standard and Companies Act will be applied. Understood this much? Any doubt till now? So let us take question now. In this chapter, they will give one balance sheet with many additional information. Correct? Now for each additional information, we need to pass one journal entry, then we need to prepare balance sheet. Means in this chapter, we need to pass journal entry, then prepare the balance sheet of the reduced company. Correct? So let us start with one question. Question number 5. Question number 5. The following is the balance sheet of week limited. देखो नाम ही ऐसा लगता है week limited means we are into which chapter? Internal reconstruction chapter. Correct? As on 31st 12 2006. ठीक है? Liability equity shares of rupees 100 each, 1 crore. 12% preference shares of rupees 100 is 50 lakh, 10% debenture 40 lakh, sundry creditor 50 lakh, provision for tax 1 lakh. Fixed asset 1 crore 25 lakh, investment market value is 9 lakh 50,000, and the book value is 10 lakh. Current asset, then they have given PL account debit balance. Of course, this is the horizontal balance sheet. In exam, you'll get a vertical balance sheet. In that case, PL will come under the reserve and surplus as a negative figure, correct? Then you can see preliminary expenses. However, now there is no chances of preliminary expenses in the balance sheet due to AS26. But वो अगर देता है, it means it is the expenditure which is not yet written off. तो इसको भी आपको write off करना पड़ेगा. These are fictitious asset, correct? Yes, sir. The following scheme of reconstruction is sanctioned. Now what we will do, we will read one additional information and we'll pass journal entry for that. Correct? Yes, sir. So we'll start with point number A. All the existing equity shares are reduced to rupees 40. Are reduced to rupees 40 each. Correct? Now, whenever they say reduced to rupees 40 each, means what? Ki this is reduction of paid up capital with change in face value. With change in face value, correct? So whenever they say ki reduce to rupees 40 each, means this is the reduction of paid up capital with change in face value. So what will be journal entry, batao? So we are doing journal entry in the books of, write down. Question number 5, page number 67. Books of week limited journal. Point number A, write down equity share capital. So it was the old face value is what, 100. Account debit, this is 1 crore. To equity share capital, it is reduced to 40 rupees 40. So of course this will be 40 lakh. The balance will be transferred to capital reduction. That is 60 lakh. Correct? Narration. We write on the very short narration being equity shares reduced to rupees 40. Correct now? Yes, sir. Understood? I think no doubt. Let us come to the next transaction. Very simple. Bolo. Next transaction is what? All the preference shares are also reduced to 60 rupees, rupees 60s. So preference shares reduced to rupees 60s. So 2 bola, so this is what? With change in face value. With change in face value. Correct? Understood? So we were having 12% cumulative preference share capital. Write down. 12% cumulative preference share capital rupees 100 account debit. So this is 50 lakh. It is reduced to rupees 60 each. So 12% cumulative preference share capital rupees 60. So of course it will be 30 lakh and the balance will be transferred to capital reduction account, that is equal to 20 lakh. Okay, So what will be the narration? Being preference shares reduced to rupees 60. Done. Very simple. चलो. Okay. ये भी समझ में आ गया. The next transaction is what? Point number C. The rate of interest on debenture is increased to 12%. Means it was 10%, it will be increased to 12%. 1 point. Then debenture holders surrender their existing debentures of ₹100 each and exchange, means उन्होंने पुराना शेयर सर्टिफिकेट अपना सरेंडर कर दिया. Means they have surrendered their old debenture certificate and exchange the same for fresh debenture of ₹70 each. Means the old debentures certificate were of ₹100 each, which were converted into 70 each. Means this is change in face value with reduction of debenture. Correct? For every debenture held by them. So there are 2 points. There is a variation in rate of interest also and change in face value. So we'll pass one journal entry for this. There is no need to pass 2 journal entry for this. So point number C क्या होगा बताओ? It will be 10% debenture old. 10% debenture ₹100 account debit. How much? 40 lakh. Now it become 12% debenture. 12% debenture. And now face value is what? 70. Correct? Bolo. So it means now 40,000 into 70. 40,000 because the number of debentures were 40,000 is equal to 28 lakh. Yes, sir. And the balance will be transferred to capital reduction account. That is how much? 12 lakh. 12 lakh. Correct? Yes, sir. So look, being 10% debenture of ₹100 each is converted and reduced to 12% debenture of ₹70 each. Correct? Yes, sir. So 3 journal entry, 3 marks you got. Correct now. So this question normally consists of what? Consists of 16 marks or 12 marks. So each journal entry will carry 1 mark and the balance marks will be for the balance sheet. Understood? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then point number D. One of the creditor of the company to whom the company owed 20 lakh, means the liability was 20 lakh, decided to forego 40% of their claim. Decided to forego 40%, means reduce 40%, reduce, and he is allotted 30,000 equity shares of ₹40 each in full settlement of his claim. Means for the balance, what will be given? Equity shares will be given. Simple. Write down point number D. So what journal entry? Creditor account debit. Creditor account debit. How much? 20 lakh. 20 lakh. 2. Capital reduction. How much reduced? Capital reduction. They have reduced 40% to 20 lakh ka 40%. How much? 8 lakh. And for the balance, what is given? Equity share capital. Equity share capital. Now, even the question has not mentioned what will be the face value of the shares issued. It will be always after reduction the new face value. Suppose in the question it is given for the balance equity shares are allotted and they have not given the new face value. So of course equity shares will be issued as per the reduced face value. Means it will be of ₹40 each, only. Correct? So batao, the balance is what? 12 lakh. Means how many shares? It will be 30,000 into what? 40. So that is only given for the balance 30,000 equity shares or ₹40 only. So even though it is not mentioned, the same number of shares and face value will come. Correct? यस सर। तो लिखो being creditor claim is reduced by 40% and for balance equity shares या 30,000 equity shares were allotted. Correct. The point number D also happened. Bolo. Any doubt? No doubt. Then come to point number E. Now fixed asset are to be written down by 30%. Fixed asset are to be written down by 30%. So fixed asset को write down करना है. Correct. Current asset are to be revalued at 45 lakh. Current asset are to be revalued at 45 lakh. If you can see the balance sheet, it is 1 crore. So 1 crore से 45 lakh में लाना है. Means it will be reduced by 55 lakh. So it will be 1 crore minus 45 lakh is equal to reduction is 55 lakh. Correct. So it is also to be reduced. So can I say current asset to be reduced by 55 lakh? We can say in this way. The taxation liability of company is settled at rupees 1,50,000. You can see in the balance sheet it is for provision for tax they have given 1 lakh and it will be settled at what 1,50,000. So liability will increase, liability will increase, liability will increase. Correct. The investment to be brought to their market value. तो investment को market value में लेके आना. You can see in the balance sheet the investment is coming book value how much 10 lakh and market value is 9,50,000. It is also to be reduced. Reduce करना. Yes sir. And it is decided to write off fictitious asset. नहीं भी बोलता तो इसको write off करते. तो write off करना है मतलब इसको write off करना है. तो can I say first we can reduce the asset given. Asset को हम reduce कर देते हैं एक साथ. तो point number E will pass one compound journal entry. तो बताओ what journal entry? Capital reduction account debit, capital reduction account debit to fixed assets तो fixed asset need to be reduced by 30%. 30% of what? 1 crore 25 lakh. तो can I say 1 crore 25 lakh into 30%? How much check करेंगे everyone? तो 1 crore 25 lakh into 30% is equal to 37 lakh 50,000. 37 lakh 50,000. Correct? Yes sir. Then to current assets. To current assets. So current asset will be reduced by 55 lakh. This already I have informed you. Yes sir. And to investment will reduce by what? 50,000. Investment will reduce by 50,000. Total कितना बात check करेंगे? 37 lakh 50,000 50,000 plus 55 lakh 55 lakh. तो ये कितना हो गया चेक करेंगे 93 lakh. तो दिस इज 93 lakh. यस सर. देखिए being assets reduced, being asset reduced. Yes sir. Correct. Yes sir. Then we have one transaction for settlement of income tax liability. You can see in the balance sheet they have given provision for tax. So how much provision for tax? Provision for tax account debit. Provision for tax कितना है बताओ? It is 1 lakh. Provision for tax is 1 lakh. To income tax payable. So it is settled. Income tax payable. So it is settled. So of course now we need to convert provision into liability, so it will become 1,50,000. 1,50,000, and difference will be transferred to which account? Capital reduction account. So of course the liability will increase, so that will be lost. Therefore, will debit which account? Capital reduction account. By how much? 50,000. Correct. Now it is given provision for tax is settled. Correct now. So you can make two assumptions, either the liability is paid or not paid, because question is not clear about this. Only they said it is settled at itna. So abhi only settlement hua hai, but payment nahi ho sakta. It might be a case. Correct now. It depends upon your assumption, what you are assuming, whether it is paid or not paid. It is paid or not paid. Correct now. So I will say if question has not informed you about payment, so we'll wait for the pay. Will not pass any journal entry for payment. It will be written in the liability side as income tax payable. Correct? Yes, sir. So looking at being income tax settled at rupees 1,50,000. Yes, sir. Then point number G, we write off fictitious asset and also debit balance of PL account. So what journal entry batao? Capital reduction account. Capital reduction account debit to profit and loss account. How much profit and loss account? 4 lakh. And to preliminary expenses. How much? 2 lakh. There is no goodwill. Yes, sir. So it becomes 6 lakh. Looking at being preliminary expenses and accumulated loss are written off. Correct. So you can see all the transaction over and then always close capital reduction account. Always close capital reduction account. So for that we'll prepare one working note. Leave one journal entry space and now prepare what? Capital reduction account. Means I will say even the question is silent about the preparation of capital reduction account, you should prepare, because that may also contain marks. It will not take much time. Correct. So let us prepare capital reduction account. Capital reduction account. Correct. So it means simple. Gain will be credited and loss will be debited in this account. Gain will be credited and loss will be debited in this account. So we'll start with what? By equity share capital. Rupees 100. How much? 60 lakh. By preference share capital. Rupees 100. It is how much? 20 lakh. 20 lakh. Then what? By 10% debenture. 10% debenture. How much? It is 12 lakh. Yes, sir. Then by creditor. By creditor. It is how much? Once again, it is 8 lakh. This is 8 lakh. Okay, sir. Then we have what? All the assets. So looking at two fixed assets. How much? It is 37 lakh 50,000. To current assets, it is 55 lakh. To investment, it is 50,000. Correct. Then we have what? One, to provision for tax, means there is also capital deduction has been debited. We done to provision for tax. How much? 50,000. Then to profit and loss account. How much? 5 lakh. Sorry, it is 4 lakh. Correct. And then to preliminary expenses, that is 2 lakh. So you can see in the debit side we have written all the loss which is written off by reduction of capital and the claim and the liability. Correct. So any surplus, check करेंगे surplus है कि deficit. Of course in most of the question item it will be nil or there will be surplus. Correct. So 60 plus 20 plus 12 plus 8 minus 37.5 minus 55 minus 0.5 minus 0.5 minus 6 is equal to what? So it is surplus of what? Surplus of 50,000. So that will be transferred to capital reserve. That will be transferred to capital reserve. Correct? Yes or no? Yes. So this 50,000 will be transferred to capital reserve. Have you understood this point? Bolo. Have you understood to what journal entry will do for this? बता. तो point number H, ये भूल मत जाना journal entry करने के लिए. तो capital reduction account debit to capital reduction account debit to capital reserve. Capital reserve. How much? 50,000. 50,000. Simple. या लिखेंगे being surplus transferred to capital reserve account. Capital reserve account. Correct. Understood. Simple. Suppose in exam you do not have time, then you can do plus minus in calculator. You can find out surplus amount of capital reduction account. If you have time, then prepare capital reduction account in exam. So this will be part of working note. This will be part of working note. Understood. Now we'll prepare balance sheet. Balance sheet will not take much time if you know the format. अगर आपको format पता है तो balance sheet will not take much time. तो फटाफट balance sheet बना ले. बोलो yes or no? Yes sir, बना दीजिए. लिखेंगे balance sheet of week limited, and now we should add what? And reduced. Correct. As at. So as at, so it was done on 31st 12/2006. 31st 12/2006. Let us prepare the balance sheet. Note number, amount. Can we start? Yes sir. Point number 1. First what we write? Equity and liability. So लिखेंगे equity and liabilities. In this first point number 1, what we write? Shareholders fund. Correct. Then under this point number A, what? Share capital. Share capital. Share capital. Now you can do mistake only in share capital, otherwise इसमें और कहीं mistake होने की chances नहीं, because reserve and surplus will become nil in this. So share capital, be careful. तो कैसे करेंगे? चेक करेंगे. तो कैसे से now this 1 crore has become how much? ये 1 crore को कितना reduce कर दिए थे? by rupees. इसको कितना reduce किए थे? 2 rupees 40, means it is 40 lakh. And this is what? Preference share capital. is reduced to rupees 60, means this is how much 30 lakh. तो 40 plus 30 how much 70 हो गया. And somewhere new shares were also issued, equity shares issue किए थे हम कितने का 12 lakh का to creditor if you remember. So 70 plus 12 is equal to 82 lakh. So this will come how much 82 lakh. Note number 1 लिख देंगे and this will be 82 lakh. Correct. बोलो. B रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस में, रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस पे normally in this chapter either normally in this chapter capital reserve account will come and at most cases in some other questions securities premium may also come. तो capital reserve में कितना ट्रांसफर किया था? नोट नंबर 2 we can add on 50,000. 50,000 you can see there is no other reserve and surplus in the balance sheet. Yes or no? Yes sir. Then we add on point number 2 non current liability. Non current liability. करेक्ट. इसमें पॉइंट नंबर ए लॉन्ग टर्म बोरोइंग, लॉन्ग टर्म बोरोइंग. यस, तो वी हैव नाउ 12% डिबेंचर. इट इज ओनली वन आइटम वी कैन एड ऑन 12% डिबेंचर यहीं पर. 12% डिबेंचर, 12% डिबेंचर कितना है? 28 लाख. नाउ इट इज 28 लाख. यस सर. Then we add on point number 3 current assets, current liability. Current liability. Current liability में first we write down trade payable. तो point number 8 trade payable. तो trade payable, total trade payable कितना है चेक करेंगे. total में syndicate is 50 lakh, out of which कितने का settlement हो गया? 20 lakh का settlement हो चुका है. बोलो या सुनो. तो balance is 30 lakh. Balance is 30 lakh. Yes. Then point number B, there will be other current liability. Other current liability because we have one income tax payable now. Income tax payable. Now if you have assumed that it is paid, तो आपका बैंक बैलेंस कम हो जाएगा. करेक्ट. तो we are adding income tax payable. Income tax payable. Income tax payable कितना? 1,50,000. 1,50,000. करेक्ट. टोटल बताइए. टोटल इज हाउ मच? टोटल इज इक्वल टू कितना? इट इज 1 crore 42 lakh. 1 crore 42 lakh. 1 crore 42 lakh is the total. Now we have come to the asset side. मतलब बहुत ही सिंपल. करेक्ट. एसेट साइड में आएंगे. फर्स्ट व्हाट वी राइट डाउन अंडर एसेट्स? पॉइंट नंबर 1 we write down non current assets. Non current assets. Under this point number A what we write? Fixed assets. Fixed assets. Yes sir. Then under this point number 1 what we write? PP, property plant and equipment. So now property plant and equipment which is now reduced by 37,50,000. तो कितना बचा चेक करेंगे. कितना बचा? It is 87 lakh. 87 lakh 50,000. 87 lakh 50,000. Yes. Then we write down point number B, non current investment. Non current investment. I have said that whenever question is silent always assume that investment are non current when I was doing final account chapter. So now it will become 9,50,000. 9,50,000. ठीक है. Then point number 2 we write down current assets. Current assets. तो current asset कितना हो गया? 55 lakh से reduce हुआ था. तो it is now 45 lakh and your balance sheet will tally. चेक करो बैलेंस शीट का टोटल कितना है. तो टोटल ऑफ बैलेंस शीट विल बी हाउ मच? 1 crore 42 lakh. 1 crore 42 lakh. सिंपल. सुपर सिंपल. यस. सुपर सिंपल. यस सर. बोलो. Of course, in exam, if you have time now, you can prepare notes to account. Or normally, you need to prepare only for share capital. उससे ज़्यादा और reserve and surplus बना देना. तो notes to account या notes to balance sheet you can write down. तो note number 1 is for share capital. Share capital. they have not given authorized. तो अगर authorized नहीं दिया है so there is no need to mention authorized, only write down the information is not given question mark. ठीक है, then we write down issued, subscribed and paid up capital, and paid up capital. So we have what, equity shares of rupees. Now what, so we have equity shares of rupees 40 each, fully paid up, fully paid up. How much? It is 52 lakh, and we have 12% preference shares of rupees 60 each, fully paid up, fully paid up. वो कितना है? 30 lakh, 30 lakh. Yes, simple. Correct? Yes, sir. Now, if you can see, कि creditor means you have purchased goods, and you purchase goods, and instead of that you have not paid cash, you have given equity shares. So can I say equity shares which has been allotted to creditor is for consideration other than cash, for consideration other than cash. Therefore you should disclose that. आपको disclose करना पड़ेगा the number of shares which is for consideration other than cash. Correct? यहाँ लिखेंगे out of above 30,000 equity shares were issued for consideration other than cash, for consideration other than cash. Correct? Yes, sir. Total become what? 82 lakh. Yes, sir. Then if you want to give for reserve and surplus, that also you can give. Write down reserve and surplus. Reserve and surplus. It is capital reserve. Capital reserve. How much? 50,000. 50,000. Total is what? 50,000. Done. Balance it over. Correct? So balance sheet will not take much time if you have practice of preparing balance sheet. तो ये ध्यान रखना, means the chances of mistake in balance sheet is very much less. बहुत ही less होगा because it is very simple balance sheet. Only you need to now think about time. Time factor is very important. Time factor is very important. Correct? Let us take one more question. एक और question लेते हैं. Let us take one more question. So come to question number 6. Question number 6. Question number 6 में आ जाए? Yes sir, आ जाइए. ठीक है. तो बैलेंस शीट ऑफ मैसेज क्यूब लिमिटेड as on 31st March 2013 is given below. You can see equity liability means, of course in exam they will give you the vertical format, they will not give you horizontal format. ये याद रखना. However, horizontal format looks simple because वो कम पेज लेता है. Vertical format will take what, more page, because they will give balance sheet with notes to account and then additional information. The question will be of what, 4 to 5 पेज in exam. तो जब question 4 to 5 पेज का होता है तब हमें डर लगने लग जाता है. However, if they will give horizontal format ना, तो वो maximum से maximum 2 पेज का होता है. Therefore, in exam, vertical format is more what, dangerous, more dangerous to review. आप उसको review जब करोगे तब आपको डर लगने लग जाएगा. Correct? Yes, sir. The balance sheet of Messrs Q Limited as on 31st March 2013 is given below. Shareholders fund क्या दिया चेक करेंगे. Share capital, reserve and surplus. You can see reserve and surplus have a negative figure, means it is a profit and loss account का accumulated loss. Yes, sir. Then non-current liability, long-term borrowing, current liability, trade payable, other liability, asset, non-current asset, fixed asset, tangible asset, current asset, current investment, inventory, trade receivable, cash and cash equivalent. Then share capital का notes दिया, authorized दिया हुआ इतना. Yes, sir. Then issued and subscribed they have given. Yes, sir. So they have equity shares as well as 8% preference shares. So be careful whenever they give authorized and issued. So when you are passing journal entry, तो you should consider only issued, subscribed and paid up. वहां आप authorized capital को information में मत ले लेना. Correct? Yes sir. Reserve and surplus, you can see they have given debit balance of PL account, long term borrowing 6% debenture secured by freehold property, and there is one director's loan also. Director's loan भी है यहाँ पर. Trade payable sundry creditor for goods other current liability interest accrued and due on 6% debenture. तो interest accrued and due on 6% debenture. ठीक है. Tangible asset, freehold property, plant and machinery, current investment, investment in equity, instrument, inventory, finished goods, trade receivable, then cash and cash equivalent. All the information are given. Now we can read all that information and pass journal entry one by one. Correct? Chale? So the board of directors of the company decided upon the following scheme of reconstruction with the consent of respective shareholders. Means consent ले चुके हैं वो. Preference shareholders are returned 2 rupees 80 each and 2 rupees 2 each. Means this is a reduction. This is reduction with change in face value. So this is with change in face value. With change in face value. Correct. तो equity shares and preference share दोनों को reduce करना है. तो कर देते हैं. तो we are doing question number 6. Page number 68. Books of Cube Limited. Journal. Journal. First, let us do preferences. Yes, sir. Preferences कर लेते हैं. तो journal entry number 1. So we have 8% preference share capital of rupees 100 account debit. How much? कितना दिया चेक करेंगे. That is how much it is 200 lakhs. तो lakhs में लिखते हैं 200 lakhs. देखो rupees in lakhs. Yes sir. Yes sir. So it will become 2. There is no change in the rate of dividend. Rate of dividend में कोई changes नहीं है. ये लिखेंगे 2. 8% preference share capital. 8% preference share capital. Now it will be rupees 80. So this will be 160 lakh. 160 lakh. The balance will be transferred to which account bowl? To capital reduction. Now I will not write journal entry. Huh? Journal entry homework. So it will be 40 lakh. Done. First transaction. Then we need to think about what? For equity share, the equity shares was reduced to rupees 2 each from rupees 10. Correct? Yes sir. यहाँ लिखेंगे equity share capital. Equity share capital rupees 10 account debit. How much equity share capital? कितना था? 500. So write down 500 lakhs. So now it will become 2 equity share capital. Equity share capital. I've seen student writing in exam ESC debit, ESC को credit कर. If you are writing 2 ESC rupees ऐसा लिखते हो तो they will deduct marks for that. Write down full equity share capital. You can see I am also writing full so that you also follow me. You also follow. मैं ESC नहीं लिख रहा हूँ. हालांकि कुछ समय के बाद मैं लिखना start कर दूंगा. But you should always write down full preference share capital, equity share capital. No shortcut. कोई भी shortcut लिखने की कोशिश मत करना. Understood? So it will become how much? So it will be now 500 will be converted into 100 lakh. So simple. Correct? Yes sir. So 500 divided by 10 into 2 कर सकते हो आप. Yes. So balance will be transferred to which account? Capital reduction account. Capital reduction account, that is 400 lakh. So first transaction, first information done. Yes sir. Now we'll come to the second transaction. Ajab. Point number 2. Preference share dividend is in area for 3 years. Preference share dividend in area for 3 years to be waived 2/3. बोला कि to be waived means to be cancelled 2/3 and for the balance 1/3 equity shares of rupees 2 which will be allotted. Means first though I have already said that arrear in preference share dividend is a what? Contingent liability, is a contingent liability. For cancellation of contingent liability, no journal entry. So for 2/3 waiver, no journal entry. Only need to pass journal entry for 1/3 जिसके लिए आपने equity shares allot किया of rupees 2 each. Already I said once it is reduced to rupees 2 each, now further equity shares of rupees 2 each only. Correct? Yes sir. So what journal entry check करेंगे? Point number 3. चलो तो पॉइंट नंबर 3 राइट डाउन. So what is journal entry for settlement of contingent liability? I have said capital reduction account debit to capital reduction account debit to cash or bank, but here settlement is done by allotment of equity shares. So what we write down? To what? Equity share capital, equity share capital of rupees 2 each. Yes sir. Now we need to find out the amount. Amount क्या होगा? लिखो. Amount will be what? So they said preference share dividend are in arrear for how many years? 3 years. So first can you give me what is the amount of preference share capital? 200 lakh into what? 8% into 3 into 1/3 into 1/3 इसके लिए आपको इक्विटी शेयर्स अलॉट करना है. तो 200 into 8% into 3 divide by 3 is equal to 16. So can I say this will be how much? 16 lakh. तो 16 लाख. तो क्या जनरल नरेशन लिखेंगे? बीइंग देखो 2/3 of preference dividend is cancelled, and for balance can I say 16 divided by 2 means 8 lakh. 8 lakh equity shares of rupees 2 each allotted. Understood? Yes sir. Have you understood point number 3? Yes sir. Correct. So normally this type of transaction they give. So for cancellation of contingent liability, no journal entry. For settlement of contingent liability, of course we need to pass capital reduction account debit to bank or to whatever equity shares you have allotted. Correct? Yes sir. Point number 3 में आते. Point number 3 में आ जाए. Yes sir. Debenture holders agree to take one freehold property, book value of which is 150 lakh, at a valuation of 170 lakh in part payment of their holding. Means debenture holders have taken one freehold property जिसका बुक वैल्यू कितना था? 150 लाख at rupees 170 lakh. Means there are two transactions. First we need to increase the book value of what? Fixed asset, and then that is taken over by debenture holders. Balance debentures to remain as liability of the company. और बोला balance debenture will be as liability of the company. Correct? Yes sir. तो यहाँ पे 6% debenture है, तो क्या एंट्री पास करेंगे? पॉइंट नंबर 4. फर्स्ट या ऐसा कर दें ताकि आपको कंफ्यूज नहीं होगा. दिस इज पॉइंट नंबर 1 का ए एंड बी कर देता हूं मैं. ए बी सो दैट यू आर नॉट कंफ्यूज. इसको कर देता हूं पॉइंट नंबर 2 एंड दिस इज पॉइंट नंबर 3 का ए, सो दैट एट द टाइम ऑफ रिवीजन यू आर नॉट कंफ्यूज. 3 का ए. तो फर्स्ट वी नीड टू इंक्रीज फ्री होल्ड प्रॉपर्टी. यस. तो क्या जर्नल एंट्री पास करेंगे? फ्री होल्ड प्रॉपर्टी अकाउंट डेबिट. हाउ मच इंक्रीज? कितना इंक्रीज किया? by 20 lakh. To capital reduction, to capital reduction, 20 lakh. And now this freehold property will be given to debentures. So what journal entry? 6% debenture, 6% debenture account debit will be reduced by 20 lakh. Sorry, will be reduced by 170 lakh. 170 लाख क्योंकि उनको फ्री होल्ड प्रॉपर्टी जिसका वैल्यू आज के दिन 170 लाख है हैज बीन गिवन टू फ्री होल्ड प्रॉपर्टी, टू फ्री होल्ड प्रॉपर्टी. हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस पॉइंट? वेरी सिंपल. 170 लाख सिंपल. बोलो एनी डाउट? तो पॉइंट नंबर 3 आल्सो डन. नरेशन आप लिख लोगे being freehold property given to debenture holders. Correct ना? Being freehold property given to debenture holders. Correct? Yes sir. समझ गए. Then point number 4, interest accrued and due on debenture to be paid in cash. तो पेमेंट कर देते हैं उसका. Point number 4. तो what journal entry बताओ? Accrued interest. Yeah, if you want to write down same account, write down interest accrued and due account debit. How much? कितना है? 12 lakh. To cash or bank? To cash or bank? To cash 12 lakh. Correct now. Or better you write down bank because they do not have cash balance in the balance sheet. To bank. Simple. Correct? Yes sir. Point number 4 भी हो गया. Point number 5, remaining freehold property to be valued at 200 lakh. Remaining. देखो total freehold property is how much? Total freehold property is 275. 275 में 150 जिसका बुक वैल्यू था वो तो दे दिया. तो 275 minus 150 is equal to 125. बोला 125 now become 200. तो 125 now become 200. तो बताओ how much increase हुआ? The increase in the remaining freehold property is 75 lakh. Increase in the remaining freehold property is 75 lakh. This you have understood? Yes, sir. Then all the investments sold out for rupees 125 lakh. इसका तो separate journal entry करेंगे. Then 70% of director loan waived and for the balance equity shares. तो इसको भी तो एक एक करते हैं. Point number 5. First point number 5. What journal entry? बोलो. Increase करेंगे. तो same freehold property, freehold property account debit to capital reduction. To capital reduction, how much increase for the balance? Sorry, capital reduction account. How much increase bata? It is 75 lakh. 75 lakh. Then बोला all the investments are sold. तो all the investment are sold. तो लिख लो bank account debit. So it was sold at what price? 125 lakh. To investment. To investment. बताओ to investment कितना है? In the balance sheet check करेंगे. They have a current investment of 100. तो investment in equity instrument लिख सकते हो. Investment in equity instrument. Equity instrument means equity shares. How much? 100. But the balance will be transferred to PL account because AS13 says it will be transferred to PL account. But it will be transferred to PL account or capital reduction. बताओ कहाँ जाएगा? Balance will be transferred to PL account or capital reduction. बताओ where it will be transferred. Everyone respond. Respond करो. Respond. So it will be transferred to capital reduction. Means you have understood in this chapter all the gain or loss will be transferred to which account? Capital reduction. भगवान कृष्ण भी आ जाएंगे, पीएल में ट्रांसफर नहीं करना है. आप समझे मेरी बात को? Yes, yes sir, we have understood. So 25 lakh. This also done? Yes sir. Then point number 7 is was 70% of directors loan waived. Now 70% directors loan, this is recorded liability. तो journal entry होना है, correct ना? तो for contingent liability waived, no journal entry. But if director's loan which is recorded is cancelled or waived, तो उसका journal entry होना है. And for the balance equity shares of rupees 2 each to be allowed. तो कर देते हैं point number 7. बताओ how much director's loan given in the balance sheet? It is 150 lakh. तो लिखेंगे डायरेक्टर्स लोन अकाउंट डेबिट, इट इज 150 lakh टू कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट 70% रिड्यूस हो गया, तो 150 का 70% कितना आया? 105 lakh. And for the balance they have allotted equity share capital of rupees 2 तो ये कितना आया? 45 lakh. 45 lakh, correct. This also done. Very simple. Means इससे आसान चैप्टर तो कोई हो ही नहीं सकता है. I think you must be understanding कि कितना आसान चैप्टर है. एडवांस अकाउंटिंग इज मोर इजियर देन अकाउंटिंग में ना थोड़ा सा जो whatever chapter we having single entries में more practice was required. इसमें तो I will do in class, you will do practice in class only. Most of the chapter practice will be completed in class only, correct. You will do lot of questions so that आपका practice हो जाएगा. Therefore I am not giving यहाँ पर, I am not want to bother you by giving more question for practice. Whatever question we'll do in class, एग्जाम के लिए एनएफ है. Only you can now go through what your institute book एक बार go through कर लेना, whether every point has been covered or not. Correct. तो less practice more marks. Target क्या है? Less practice. Why I am saying less practice? Because we'll do more practice in class. हम क्लास में बहुत सारा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे क्योंकि आपके पास अभी और भी सब्जेक्ट है, तो आई डोंट वांट टू बॉदर. अभी दूसरे सब्जेक्ट पे ध्यान दीजिए. Advanced accounting, my belief is that if you follow me in class, you can easily get 70 plus. You can easily get. और थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिस कर लोगे 90 प्लस पक्का आना है. एग्जाम के पहले बस एक दिन पूरे अच्छे से पढ़ के जाना. दैट इज माय गारंटी टू यू ऑल. करेक्ट? यस सर. Then 40% of sundry debtor and 80% of inventories to be written off. ओके, राइट ऑफ कर देते हैं. तो बताओ व्हाट जर्नल एंट्री? कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू सन्ड्री डेटर तो 40% सन्ड्री डेटर इज हाउ मच? चेक करेंगे. इट इज 225 इंटू हाउ मच? कितना बोला? 40% ना. 40% into 40%, that is 90 lakh. And two inventories, they have said how much? 80% को राइट ऑफ करेंगे. 80% इन्वेंट्री कितना है? that is what? 150 का 80% how much? 120 lakh. तो 120 plus 90 is equal to 210 lakh. Yes sir. This also done. Yes sir. Then last point number 9, company's contractual commitment amounting to rupees 300 lakh have been settled by paying 5% penalty of contract value. Now what happened? There is some contractual commitment. अभी देखो, सपोज कि मैंने आपसे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया है कि I will teach you CA. अभी राइट नाउ आई एम टीचिंग यू CA इंटर, बट अभी हमने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर लिया कि I will teach you CA final once you passed in CA IPCC. Means that contract will be executed only once you passed in CA IPCC CA inter. अपनी बात समझ पा रहे हो कि what contract I have done right now कि I will teach you what? I will teach you what? Bolo. CA final and the fees will be this much. But right now I am not receiving any fees. Only a contract करके छोड़ दिया. This type of contract are known as executory contract. Executory contract, I think if you have done in Contract Act, which has not been executed by both the party or which has been partially performed by both the parties. So for executory contract which need to be performed by both the party in future, so that is a future obligation, therefore will not do any journal entry for such transaction right now. So there may be some contractual commitment which need to be executed in future, correct ना? तो अभी मैं आपको सी एंटर पढ़ा रहा हूँ और राइट नाउ आई एम कैंसिलिंग दैट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. तो व्हेन आई एम कैंसिलिंग दैट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, तो हो सकता है आई नीड टू पे सम पेनल्टी टू यू. So when I'm paying penalty, so can I see that is my expense and that expense need to be charged to capital reduction account. तो यहाँ पर याद रखना contractual commitment of this amount is not relevant. Not relevant. Correct? So the contractual commitment of rupees 300 lakh have been settled. मैं इसको cancel कर दिया by payment of 5% penalty. तो 300 lakh का 5% penalty कितना होता है? तो this is what? This is 15 lakh का you need to pay. So 15 lakh become your expense. For that you need to pass one journal entry. Understood? So what will be journal entry? Point number 9. बोलो. It will be capital reduction. Capital reduction account debit to capital reduction account debit to bank. Or you can pass two journal entry penalty account debit to bank and then penalty को charge कर दोगे capital reduction account में. That is your choice. You want to pass two journal entry तो दो journal entry कर दो. But one journal entry is more than enough in exam. तो लिखो being penalty paid for cancellation of contractual commitment of rupees 300 lakh. Correct? So all point done. Now even though question is silent, will debit will write off what? Accumulated losses. So there is no fictitious asset, there is no goodwill in the balance sheet. तो हम किसको write off कर देंगे? PL account को. तो लिखो capital reduction account debit to capital reduction account debit. How much? वो कितना है? 261 lakh to profit and loss account. To profit and loss account 261 lakh. All journal entry done. Now at the end will close capital reduction account. Will close capital reduction account. Correct? Understood? Always in exam just read what they have required. वो पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. So what they have said, pass journal entry and prepare reconstruction account. Oh, they have said reconstruction account and we have written which account? Capital reduction account. ऐसा एग्जाम में मत करना. अभी तो I am not reading the entire question. तो if they have asked reconstruction account, use reconstruction account only. देखो हमसे गलती हो गया, एग्जाम में हो सकता है मार्क्स कट जाए. तो they have asked reconstruction account. Intentionally I have done mistake. मुझे पता था they have asked what reconstruction account. मुझे तो पता है क्योंकि मेरे पास तो सोल्यूशन भी है. आप समझ रहे हो मेरी बात को? Are you able to understand? So I was knowing कि they have asked reconstruction account. Then also I have used capital reduction account to inform you that it might happen if you are using capital reduction account. If I am checking, I will not deduct marks. अगर मैं चेक कर रहा हूं तो मैं डिडक्ट मार्क्स नहीं करूंगा. बट आई डोंट नो कि जो आपका पेपर चेक कर रहा है उनका मानसिक हालत कैसा है. आप समझे ना? पता नहीं क्या चेक करते समय किससे झगड़ा करके आए और क्या मार्क्स देते हो. तो प्लीज यूज रिकंस्ट्रक्शन अकाउंट इफ दे आर मार्क्स यू रिकंस्ट्रक्शन अकाउंट. करेक्ट? यस सर. समझे इस बात को? नाउ लेट अस प्रिपेयर रिकंस्ट्रक्शन अकाउंट. नाउ इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ सॉल्यूशन ओनली. इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ सॉल्यूशन. तो लिखो पॉइंट नंबर बी. नाउ यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर रिकंस्ट्रक्शन अकाउंट. Have you understood what I am saying? बोलो respond. तो फटाफट करते हैं. देखो by 8% preference share capital how much? 40 lakh. Correct? then by equity share capital, ये भी लिख लो, रुपीस कितना, ₹100 ₹10, so that is 400 lakh, then यहाँ लिखेंगे 2 equity share capital ₹2 16 lakh. This is for allotment of equity shares to for settlement of arrear of preference dividend. Yes sir, yes sir. Then buy freehold property, how much, buy freehold property, तो कितना इंक्रीज किए थे, it is 20 lakh, increase was 20 lakh. Yes sir, 20 lakh, correct. Yes sir. तो ये भी हो गया. Then this will not come to capital reduction account. This will not come to capital reduction account. Then once again freehold property increase, तो ये लिखेंगे buy freehold property 75 lakh. Then buy investment, इन्वेस्टमेंट को सेल किया, उसमें प्रॉफिट हुआ 25 lakh. Then buy director's loan, it is 105 lakh. Then to sundry debtor, that is 60, पूरा लिख दिया मैंने, sorry, it will 16 lakh. This is 90 lakh. Then to inventory, this is how much, 120 lakh. Then you have paid one penalty, you can add on to bank, in bracket you can add on penalty, how much, 15 lakh. Then to profit and loss account, how much, that is 261 lakh. बताओ how much surplus, बताओ how much, to capital reserve, how much, capital reserve बताओ, everyone give me capital reserve. Then we'll pass one journal entry 11, capital reduction account debit to capital reserve. Can you give me how much capital reserve? It is 163. To capital reserve, 163, being surplus transfer to capital reserve. तो यहाँ लिखेंगे 163 and done. Simple. बोलो. Simple. Let us prepare balance sheet now. Fast. बैलेंस शीट बना लेते हैं. बैलेंस शीट ऑफ Messrs Cube Limited, and reduced correct. So as at 31st March 2013, note number, amount, rupees in lakhs, correct. Can we start? देखो point number 1, equity and liabilities. इसमें लिखेंगे point number 1, shareholders fund. Point number A, share capital. You will give me share capital. आप दो share capital कितना है? Whatever you will say, I will write down. Then B, reserve and surplus. Reserve and surplus, so now we know reserve and surplus will be only capital reserve. Capital reserve है हमारे पास 163 lakh. 163 lakh. बताओ how much share capital? Share capital कितना आना चाहिए? Everyone respond. So one answer I got 321 lakh. That is correct only. 321 lakh. We'll prepare note for this. So note number 1, note number 2, you can write down. Yes, sir. Then write down point number 2, non-current liability. In this point number A, we have long-term borrowing. Long-term borrowing में there were 2 loan, but directors loan खत्म हो गया. So now it will be only debentures. अभी सिर्फ debentures होगा. तो debentures is how much? 6% debenture. 6% debenture, and that will be only balance debenture होगा. So that is 200. 200 में से कितना माइनस कर दे? 170 freehold property was given. बोलो या सुनो. 200 minus 170. तो how much left? 30. Yes sir. Directors loan तो full cancel हो गया. That will not come now. Yes sir. Then point number 3, current liability. Current liability. First we write down trade payable. Trade payable. तो in trade payable sundry creditor will come. Sundry creditor में कुछ नहीं हुआ तो that will come as it is 51 lakh. Correct, 51 lakh. And can I say now there is no other current liability because interest accrued has been paid. So there is no other current liability. So we'll make a total of this. तो बताओ total कितना हुआ? Total is how much? It is 321 plus 163 plus 30 plus 51 is equal to 565. 565. Now I'll come to the asset side. Assets. First is what? Non-current assets. Non-current assets. In this point number A will be what? Fixed assets. Under this point number 1, PPE. property, plant and equipment. So what is it? Balance freehold property is reduced to what? Is increased to what? जो balance freehold property था उसका valuation कितना हो गया था? That is how much? 200 lakh. तो ये 200 lakh will be freehold property. And there is one plant and machinery, उसमें तो कुछ नहीं किए. That will be 100. तो ये total कितना हो गया? 300. You can prepare note for this. Note number 3. Correct? Yes, sir. This point, current investment has been sold. Now come to current assets. Current assets. इसमें first will be inventories because current investment has been sold. तो इसमें लिखो inventories. तो inventories is reduced by 80%. तो बचा कितना? बचा 150 का 20%. How much? 30. तो inventories 30. Then we can add on trade receivable. Trade receivable means debtor. Debtor भी कितना कम हुआ चेक करेंगे. था कितना? 225. 225 माइनस कितना किया डेटर से? बताओ. डेटर से माइनस किया 90. माइनस 90 इज इक्वल टू 135. 135 lakh. Then we write on cash and cash equivalent. Cash and cash equivalent. करेक्ट. इसमें ध्यान से करना. तो इसका बैलेंस कितना था? 2. देन व्हाट आर ट्रांजैक्शन वी हैव डन चेक करेंगे. बताओ. पहला 2 माइनस हुआ -12. It is -12. Then investment was sold. तो प्लस 125. यस. यस सर. और तो कुछ नहीं है. देन एक पेनल्टी पे किया था. पेनल्टी पे -15. -15. तो कितना आया? 2 प्लस 125 -12 -15 इज इक्वल टू 100. दिस इज 100. टोटल कितना हुआ चेक करेंगे. टोटल इज व्हाट? 300 प्लस 30 प्लस 135. देखो बैलेंस शीट टैलिड. यस बैलेंस शीट टैलिड. So it is 565 total. Understood? Yes sir. Now we'll prepare notes to balance sheet. वो बना लो. Notes to balance sheet. Note number 1. Share capital. Now in this authorized capital is also given. तो be careful when they give authorized capital. Correct ना? उसमें कुछ changes हो सकता है. तो I have already said कि amount of authorized capital do not change. Only you need to change what? The class of shares. Class of shares change करना है. If you remember, correct? तो यहाँ लिखेंगे. तो they have given 100 lakh shares of rupees 10 each. तो now it will become of rupees 2 each. तो 1000 divided by 2. बताओ कितना shares हो गया. तो first लिखो authorized. Authorized उसमें लिखो 500 lakh equity shares of rupees 2 each. Of rupees 2 each. तो that is 1000. ये ध्यान रखना. करेक्ट. तो when you are saying 2 तो आप उसको 100 into 2 मत कर देना. You need to increase the number of shares. You need to increase the number of authorized shares. Correct. Similarly, तो now preference shares is of rupees how much? 80. तो 400 divided by 80 कितना हुआ चेक करेंगे. 5. तो यहाँ लिखेंगे it is 5 lakh 8% preference shares of rupees 80 each. Of rupees 80 each. That is 400. So you can see the total remains same. Authorized capital का total remains same. Correct. This is थोड़ा सा be careful in exam. समझ में आ रहा है आपको. अब लिखेंगे issued, subscribed and paid up. And paid up. Correct. तो क्या नहीं से we were having 50 lakh equity shares जिसको आप reduce किए प्लस प्लस कितना कितना के वो चेक करना. मींस टोटल आपके पास कितना आया. दैट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड। तो आपके पास कितना रिड्यूस होने के बाद आया, दैट इज हाउ मच 100 lakh आफ्टर रिडक्शन। तो 500 was reduced by 400, तो बचा कितना 100 लाख। 100 लाख फिर अपने यू हैव डन व्हाट, you have allotted equity shares to what, preference holders for dividend plus 16 lakh plus 16 lakh। फिर डायरेक्टर्स को दिया, डायरेक्टर्स को कितना दिया 45 प्लस 45 डिवाइड बाय 2 कर दो, तो इट मींस 80.5 इक्विटी शेयर्स हुआ, 80.5 इक्विटी शेयर्स करेक्ट। लेकिन 80.5 इक्विटी शेयर्स ऑफ रुपीस 2 each, fully paid up, this is how much 161 and 5 lakh, sorry, how much 2 lakh यहां पर भी लाख लिख दो, 8% preference shares of rupees 80 each, fully paid up, तो ये कितना हुआ 2 into 80 मीन्स कितना हुआ, दिस इज हाउ मच 160 लाख, तो टोटल कितना हो गया 321 लाख। अंडरस्टूड दिस पॉइंट, हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस पॉइंट, बोलो। नाउ there were 2 equity shares issued during the year. One is what, 2 preference dividend, that is for consideration other than cash, correct ना। आपने एक liability means there was a contingent liability आपने equity shares allot किया, that is for consideration other than cash। but directors loan check करो, when I am saying directors loan तो पहले cash आ चुका था, तो उसके लिए now you are allotting equity shares, समझो when you have taken loan तो cash is already received, correct ना। now for this cash you are allotting equity shares, so this is not for consideration other than cash, correct ना। जब मैं बोला क्रेडिटर को आपने इक्विटी शेयर्स किया है, तो क्रेडिटर के लिए यू परचेज गुड्स, when you purchase goods and you are allotting equity shares that become for consideration other than cash। तो यहां लिखेंगे out of above for 16 lakh equity shares means 16 lakh equity share capital divide by 2 means 8 lakh equity shares, 8 lakh equity shares were issued for consideration other than cash, correct now। I don't know when if you are not writing this point whether they will deduct marks or not, from my point of view they do not deduct marks for this। अगर आपको पता है तो लिख दो, नहीं ज्यादा टाइम है तो छोड़ दो। आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड, मेरे को नहीं लगता है कि इसके लिए आपका मार्क्स वो काटते हैं। आर यू एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, इतना समझे, करेक्ट। देन बैलेंस नोट यू कैन डू बाय योर ओन, कर लेते हैं। पॉइंट नंबर 2, राइट ऑन रिजर्व एंड सरप्लस, reserve and surplus। we have capital reserve how much, capital reserve कितना है, that is 153 lakh, total हो गया 153 lakh। then note number 3 is for property plant and equipment, तो first is freehold property, तो वो हो गया 200 lakh and plant and machinery that is 100 lakh, total is what 300 lakh and done। So balance sheet is over, done। So 2 questions we have done। now whatever question we are doing there will be some new point in that, means I'm not taking simple question or repeated question मैं नहीं ले रहा हूँ। in every question you learn something new about this chapter, correct ना। तो हम कुछ ना कुछ नया ऐड करेंगे। have you understood this point, इतना समझे। can we take one more question, एक और क्वेश्चन लेते हैं, ठीक है। So without wasting your time, let us take one question. It means now whatever I am doing, this chapter is over. ये chapter पूरा खत्म हो चुका है. Now whatever I am doing, that is only for practice purpose. अब हम जो भी कर रहे हैं वो practice purpose के लिए कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, समझ में आया आपको ये point? Question number 7 में. Question number 7. The balance sheet of Y Limited as on 31st March 2002 was as follow. Now 5 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 is fully paid up 50 lakh. 9% 20,000 preference share of rupees 100 is 20 lakh. First debenture 10%, second debenture 10%. You know first debenture and second debenture का मतलब क्या होता है? These are debentures allotted as per priority for payment at the time of liquidation. Means first debenture will be paid first at the time of liquidation and second debenture will be paid after payment of our first debenture. So as per priority of payment in case of liquidation उसको हम बोलते हैं first debenture and second debenture. उसका कोई लेना देना नहीं है. Total debenture कितना हो गया? 6 lakh and 10 lakh. Correct. Debenture interest outstanding 1 lakh 60. So one thing is clear that can I say the total interest is outstanding for this year? Total interest is outstanding for the relevant year, means 31st March 2003 year ended. क्रेडिटर इतना, डायरेक्टर्स लोन इतना, बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट इतना, आउटस्टैंडिंग लायबिलिटी इतना, प्रोविजन फॉर टैक्स इतना, गुडविल. ना गुडविल फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम अपीयरिंग इन द बैलेंस शीट, उसको संगे संग राइट ऑफ कर देंगे इवन दो क्वेश्चन इज नॉट गिवन एनी पॉइंट. पेटेंट को राइट ऑफ तभी करोगे whenever it is specified in the question because this is other intangible asset, उसका कुछ ना कुछ वैल्यू हो सकता है. समझे? लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग, प्लांट एंड मशीनरी, फर्नीचर, फिक्सचर, कंप्यूटर, ट्रेड, इन्वेस्टमेंट, डेटर, स्टॉक, discount on issue of debenture, fictitious asset need to be written off completely. Correct ना? PL account debit balance को भी write off करेंगे. Yes sir. Now note, preference dividend is in arrear for last 3 years. Last 3 years से arrear में. तो once again continuing liability is given in the question. Correct? Yes sir. Now a special point in this question क्या बोला? A hold 10% first debenture for rupees 4 lakh and 10% second debenture of rupees 6 lakh. He is also creditor for rupees 1 lakh. Like there is one person, Mr. A, who hold 10% debenture, first debenture, 10% second debenture. He is also creditor of the company. Correct? So total amount due to Mr. A is what? 4 lakh plus 6 lakh, 10 lakh plus 1 lakh. How much? 11 lakh. Yes, sir. Similarly, B hold 10% debenture of rupees 2 lakh, 10% second debenture of rupees 4 lakh, and is also creditor of rupees 50,000. तो B को कितना amount due है? That is how much? 2 lakh plus 4 lakh, 6 lakh 50,000. Yes sir, समझ गए. The following scheme of reconstruction has been agreed upon and duly approved by the court. Point number 1 एक एक करके पढ़ते हैं और अपना जर्नल एंट्री करते हैं. समझे? Yes. Can we start? Yes sir, we can start. So first is what? All the equity shares be converted into fully paid equity shares of rupees 5. यहाँ लिख दिया of rupees 5, which means क्या convert कर रहे हैं into new face value. तो this is also with change in face value. With change in face value. समझे? तो कर लेते हैं point number 1 journal entry. So we are doing journal entry in the books of Y Limited. Can we start? Yes sir. So write down books of Y Limited journal. Books of Y Limited journal. Point number 1. So write down equity share capital, rupees 10, अमाउंट कितना है भाई बता दे. तो इट इज 50 लाख. Now it will become 2 equity share capital. Rupees 5, so it will become 25 lakh. 2, check karo whether they have asked capital reduction account or which account. So what they have asked, they have not mentioned any account. Chalega. So now we can write down capital reduction. nothing is given ना, तो write down this account only, capital reduction account अच्छा लगता है. Capital reduction account, how much? 25 lakh. First journal entry done, 1 marks you got. Then the preference shares to be reduced to rupees 50 each, and preference shareholders agree to forego their arrear of preference dividend, in consideration of which 9% preference shares are to be converted into 10% preference shares. Means three information, three bola, three changes hai. First, तो face value has been changed with reduction of paid up capital. Correct now. So from rupees 100 it become 50, and of course it will be reduced also. So will be reduced to rupees 50 with change in face value, and then their rate of dividend will also change. So from 9% it will become 10%, but 9% को 10% कम करेंगे जब वो arrear of preference dividend को cancel कर देंगे, means they will waive it. So for arrear of preference dividend waiver, no journal entry. तो कहने से only when you can pass one journal entry. देखो क्या journal entry होता है, देखो point number 2. तो it is 9% preference share capital, 9% preference share capital of rupees 100, account debit 20 lakh. Now it will become 10% preference share capital rupees 50, means 10 lakh, to capital reduction, to capital reduction account. How much? 10 lakh. Understood this point? And for waiver of preference dividend, no journal entry. I'm just writing one note so that for revision you are not confused. तो note लिख देता हूं. For cancellation of arrear of preference dividend, no journal entry. No journal entry is required. Simple. In exam also you can write down this note. This point you understood? Yes sir, समझ गए. Point number 2 also done. Point number 3, interesting. Mr. A to cancel 6 lakh of his total debt, including interest on debenture. Oh, including interest on debenture. Yes sir. And to pay rupees 1 lakh to the company, means Mr. A will pay 1 lakh to the company, means cash is received, and the company to and to pay rupees 1 lakh to the company, and to receive 12% new debenture for the balance amount. 12% new debenture for the balance amount. तो पहले तो क्या करते हैं, let us find out point number 3 कि उनका जो old dues था, तो कहने से he was holding first debenture, second debenture, he was also creditor, and there was some interest outstanding for debenture also. तो चेक करते हैं कितना कितना. तो 10% first debenture, how much? First debenture of Mr. A, account debit 4 lakh. Yes sir. Then 10% second debenture, बता how much? कितना? How much? 6 lakh. Yes sir. Then creditor, he was creditor for what amount? 1 lakh. And can I say there will be some debenture interest outstanding for his holding, तो can I say 10 lakh का 10% 1 lakh होना चाहिए. तो can I say यहाँ आएगा debenture interest outstanding 1 lakh 1 lakh. तो कहें this is the total debt, या लिखेंगे to Mr. A how much, या आ गया 12 lakh. तो total debt of Mr. A is 12 lakh. Now क्या बोला, Mr. A will pay cash. कैश देगा किसको, कंपनी को. तो कैश हैज बीन रिसीव्ड, बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट. हाउ मच रिसीव्ड फ्रॉम मिस्टर ए 1 lakh. करेक्ट ना. एंड फॉर द बैलेंस अमाउंट मींस कहने से 12 lakh was outstanding and 1 lakh is received, तो टोटल आउटस्टैंडिंग बिकम 13 lakh. आप समझ रहे हो. तो यह लिखेंगे मिस्टर ए अकाउंट मिस्टर ए, या यहीं पर कैंसिल कर सकते थे आप. इन द फर्स्ट जर्नल एंट्री ओनली यू कैन कैंसल, यहीं पर कैंसिल कर दे, छोड़ दो, यहां कर देते हैं मिस्टर ए 12 lakh. बताओ आउट ऑफ दिस हाउ मच कैंसल्ड, टू कैपिटल रिडक्शन हाउ मच, टू कैपिटल रिडक्शन हाउ मच, कितना कैंसिल किया बताओ. दे हैव कैंसल्ड हाउ मच, 6 lakh इज कैंसल, 6 lakh कैंसिल कर दिया. तो 6 lakh इज कैंसल्ड. एंड फॉर द बैलेंस अमाउंट, बैलेंस अमाउंट कितना है 7 lakh. फॉर दैट दे हैव इशूड न्यू डिवेंचर ऑफ 12%. तो 12% डिवेंचर आ जाएगा, टू 12% डिवेंचर, 12% डिवेंचर हाउ मच 7 lakh. हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस जर्नल एंट्री, हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस जर्नल एंट्री, बताओ. करेक्ट, बोलो. Have you understood this journal entry? Respond fast, everyone. This was a new type of transaction in this question. नया transaction था इस question में. Have you understood? Respond. Yes, sir. Correct? Yes, sir. Then point number 4 is similar. Mr. B is to cancel till 3 lakh of his total debt including interest on debenture and to accept new 12% debenture for the balance amount. Or in a difference between the last transaction and this transaction, Mr. B is not bringing any cash to me, is not contributing any cash to the company. Correct? तो कर देते हैं इसे भी. Point number 4 है ना. Point number 4 का A. Point number 4 का A. Correct? तो लिखो 10% first debenture account debit. 10% first debenture account debit how much? 2 lakh. 10% second debenture account debit कितना? 4 lakh. And he's also creditor for what amount? 50,000. 50,000. And also debenture interest outstanding account debit how much? तो 6 lakh का 10% 60,000. 60,000. तो चेक करेंगे उसका 1 lakh plus 60, total is 1 lakh 60,000. correct? To Mr. B account total become how much? 6. It is 7 lakh 10,000. 7 lakh 10,000 total debt. फिर लिखेंगे point number B. Mr. B account कितना कैंसिल किया? How much कैंसिल बताओ. तो cancel will be transferred to capital reduction account and they have cancelled 3 lakh. तो to capital reduction account 3 lakh. And for the balance what has been issued? 12% debenture account, 12% debenture account 4 lakh 10,000. तो new debenture will come in the balance sheet. Be careful. ये समझ में आया. इतना बड़ा सिंपल सिंपल ट्रांजेक्शंस. This also done? Yes, sir. Then point number 5. Trade creditor other than A and B. तो other than A and B, तो A का कितना था? It was uh, it was 1 lakh and B का 50,000 means other than 1 lakh 50,000 उसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. Agree to forego 50% of their claim. ओहो हो. तो चेक करेंगे टोटल क्रेडिटर कितना है. Total creditor is 5 lakh. Out of 5 lakh, Mr. A was how much? 1 lakh. Mr. B was 50,000. उसके अलावा बचा 3 lakh 50,000. So out of 3 lakh 50,000, how much cancelled? How much cancelled? Agree to forego 50% of their claim. तो करो point number 5. What journal entry? Creditor account debit. Creditor account debit. To capital reduction. To capital reduction account. How much? It will be 3,50,000 into what? 50%. That is how much? 1,75,000. 1,75,000. Done. Super easy. Super easy. 3 का marks मिल रहा है आपको. Correct. This type of question we used to do in our bachpan when we started. We used to give some transaction. We used to pass journal entry. Ram commence business. Ram purchase good. ऐसे तो कुछ है. Correct ना? कोई ज्यादा परेशानी नहीं है. Then point number 6. Director to accept settlement of their loan as to 60% thereof by allotment of equity shares and balance being waived. मतलब 60% के लिए equity shares and balance being waived. तो total directors loan कितना चेक करेंगे? Total directors loan is 1 lakh. तो कर दो. Point number 6. Directors loan account debit. How much? 1 lakh. 1 lakh. To capital reduction how much? To capital reduction. So 40% will be what? Waived. Correct. 40,000. And to equity share capital. But the equity share capital of rupees what? Equity share capital of rupees. Of rupees. बता दो कितना? It will be 5. So after reduction, what is the new face value? Rupees 5. So that is 60,000. So how many number of shares? 60,000 divided by 5 is equal to 12,000. तो ये ध्यान रखना. It is 12,000 into 5. This also done. Simple, 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 simple. Yes, sir. Then coming to the next point. Point number 7. There were capital commitment totaling rupees 3 lakh. This contract are to be cancelled on payment of 5% of contract price as penalty. तो बोल दो क्या एंट्री होगा. Point number 7. बताओ. Capital reduction. Capital reduction account debit to bank. Account debit to bank. तो 5% penalty. तो 5% of what? Amount कितना था? It is 3 lakh का 5%. तो 3 lakh का 5% is equal to 15,000. 15,000 का पेमेंट कर दिए. बोलो yes or no? Yes sir. ये भी कर दिए. Thank you very much sir. Then point number 8. ये क्या लिखा है? Directors refund 1,10,000 of the fees previously received by them. Oh ho. Correct. Now directors ने क्या किया? अपना fee refund कर दिया. Means whatever fee means director remuneration. Whatever remuneration they have received, they have refunded. But what will be journal entry for this? But what can be the possible journal entry for this? Respond. इसका journal entry क्या होगा? Everyone. What will journal entry for this? Very good. Cash account debit to capital reduction. Very good. Correct. So point number 8, because it has been received, so we are doing with bank only. Bank ही लिख दो. Bank account debit to capital reduction, it become gain. So gain will be credited to capital reduction account. Samjhe? Yes sir, we have understood. Very simple. Correct. What are the amount? Amount kitna tha? The amount is what? It is 1,10,000. 1,10,000. Yes sir. Point number 9. Point number 9 क्या है? रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एक्सपेंस पेड. लो क्या सर? तो लिखो कैपिटल रिडक्शन, कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू बैंक. हाउ मच रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एक्सपेंस पेड? इट इज हाउ मच? 10,000. मीन्स यू कैन पास टू जर्नल एंट्री. हाँ, आप दो जर्नल एंट्री पास कर सकते हो. रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एक्सपेंस अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश और बैंक, एंड देन कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू बैंक. करेक्ट ना? दैट इज कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एक्सपेंस. दैट इज योर चॉइस. यू वांट टू पास वन जर्नल एंट्री और टू जर्नल एंट्री. आप अपने हिसाब से पास करो. नरेशन लिखना जरूरी है. बीइंग रिकंस्ट्रक्शन एक्सपेंस पेड. ठीक है. यस सर. ये भी हो गया. 9. 10. The taxation liability of company is settled at rupees 80,000 and the same is paid immediately. Oh, बोल रहा now the same is paid immediately. तो देखो they have given one provision for tax. चेक करो provision for tax कितना है? 1 लाख. तो उसका पे सेटलमेंट हुआ 80,000 में. तो व्हाट जर्नल एंट्री? provision for tax, provision for tax account debit 1 lakh. And now we can pass directly payment कर दो to bank. How much? 80,000. Correct. And now it become your gain. Gain will be transferred to which account? Capital reduction account. Capital reduction account 20,000. This also we have understood. Yes sir. Correct. समझे? Super easy. Now assets are revalued as under. तो चेक करेंगे किसमें किसमें इंक्रीज है, किसमें किसमें डिक्रीज है. लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग आर रीवैल्यूड एज अंडर्स. दिस आर द न्यू वैल्यू. करेक्ट. तो लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग रिड्यूस हुआ कितने से? 2 लाख. देन प्लांट एंड मशीनरी इज रिड्यूस बाय 6 लाख. देन फर्नीचर एंड फिक्सचर स्टॉक. स्टॉक कहाँ है? स्टॉक 10 लाख. तो स्टॉक इज रिड्यूस बाय 3 लाख. करेक्ट. देन डेटर. डेटर कितना है? 5 लाख. तो डेटर इज रिड्यूस बाय 2 लाख. यस सर. देन कंप्यूटर. कंप्यूटर कितना है? कंप्यूटर 3 लाख. तो कंप्यूटर इज रिड्यूस बाय 1.2 lakh. Then what? Furniture and fixture how much? Furniture and fixture 2 lakh. तो ये भी reduce by 1 lakh. Then trade investment. Trade investment कितना है? चेक करेंगे. 5 lakh. So that is also reduced by 1 lakh. तो all the assets are reduced only. तो चेक करना, कभी कभी increase भी दे देता है. तो be careful. Correct. तो can we pass the journal entry for this? Yes sir, we can pass. तो point number 11 कर देते हैं. Point number 11. Capital reduction account debit. One compound journal entry will do. To land and building. How much? 2 lakh. To plant and machinery. How much? 6 lakh. Correct. Then what? To stock. It is 3 lakh. To debtor. How much? 2 lakh. To computer. Computer कितना बोला? 1,20,000. 1,20,000. Then to furniture and fixture. Furniture and fixture how much? 1 lakh. Then to trade investment. Trade investment how much? बोलना रे. Trade investment how much? 1 lakh. Correct. Total कितना हुआ? 2 plus 6 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1.2 plus 1 plus 1. It is 16 lakh 20,000. 16 lakh 20,000 being asset reduced. समझे इस बात को? Very simple. Yes, sir. So you can see all the transaction then they were written past journal entry already we have done for the above mentioned transaction including amount written off of goodwill, patent, loss impl and discount. अब बोल दिया कि goodwill को write off करो, patent को write off करो, PL को write off करो and fictitious asset need to be also written off. Means even though not given we would have written off goodwill को तो write off करते, PL को तो write off करते and discount on issue of debentures को भी write off करते. However, patent को भी write off only whenever question is given information about that. Then बोला prepare bank account also and also show the working allocation of interest on debenture between A and B. ये तो बड़ा आसान है, तो बैंक अकाउंट बना लेंगे, उसमें क्या दिक्कत है. तो इसमें बैलेंस शीट आपसे नहीं पूछा, तो बैलेंस शीट विल बी योर होमवर्क. करेक्ट ना? बैलेंस शीट खुद बना लेना. तो लीव सम स्पेस, फर्स्ट राइट ऑफ कर देते हैं. तो पॉइंट नंबर XII क्या करेंगे? कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू नाउ दिस टू जनरल एंट्री डोंट कंबाइन. हाँ, आप कंबाइन कर सकते हो बट ये दिस टू मेक इट सेपरेट. ओके, ज्यादा भी कंपाउंड मत करना. ठीक है. तो टू गुडविल हाउ मच? Goodwill how much? 10 lakh. Then to patent how much? It is 5 lakh. To discount on issue of debenture, on issue of debenture how much? 1 lakh. Then to PL account how much? कितना बोला? 15 lakh. Total is how much? तो 15 plus 5 20 20 plus 10 30 31 lakh. So this is 31 lakh. Correct? All the journal entry has been done. Now can you close capital reduction account? 2 plus minus, can you give me any balance? So can you find out the surplus of capital reduction account? Fast. Surplus of capital reduction account fast करो. तो आंसर इज nil. तो बोला the surplus is nil. Therefore it is a, I will say, perfect question where the gain means reduction and the loss are same. Correct now? So the surplus is nil. Therefore nothing will be transferred to PL account. Done? Yes sir. Now they have asked you to prepare bank account. तो बैंक अकाउंट बना लेते हैं. बैंक अकाउंट. You can see in this they have not given bank balance but there is a one bank overdraft. So we'll start with what? Buy balance brought down 1 lakh. So there is a bank overdraft. Yes sir. Then can you give me one by one all the payment and receipt? Yes sir. So first क्या क्या पेमेंट हुआ बताओ. पेमेंट क्या क्या हुआ? First journal entry nothing, second journal entry nothing. Then you receive some amount from Mr. A. Correct ना? You receive some amount from Mr. A. तो लिख देंगे to Mr. A. To Mr. A 1 lakh. Yes sir. Then there was one payment of penalty by capital reduction. You can add a penalty. How much? 15,000. and then there was a payment for reconstruction expense also. So you can add on reconstruction expense, how much paid? 10,000, correct? Then there was a payment for uh, provision for tax. Provision for tax, how much paid? 80,000. 80,000. And there was one fee received from directors, correct? Now तो देखेंगे to capital reduction, to capital reduction, या लिखेंगे fee received, fee received, how much it is received? 1,10,000. तो बताओ बैंक बैलेंस कितना आया? तो आई थिंक बैंक बैलेंस इज हाउ मच, चेक करेंगे तो इट इज 1 lakh प्लस 15,000 प्लस 10,000 प्लस 80,000 माइनस 2,10,000, तो पॉजिटिव बैलेंस हो गया ना. तो बाई बैलेंस कैरिड डाउन हाउ मच? 5,000. 5,000 is balance. This will come in the asset side of balance sheet now. So this is bank account done. Simple. Then they have asked you to prepare working for the allocation. जब बोला है तो बना लेते हैं. Working for allocation of debenture interest. Correct? Yes sir. तो यहाँ लिखेंगे मिस्टर ए मिस्टर बी. बताओ how much 10% first debenture? It is 4 lakh and 2 lakh. Then 10% second debenture, it is 6 lakh and 4 lakh. 4 lakh. Total is what? 10 lakh and 6 lakh. Correct? Understood? Okay, rate of interest is same only. Rate of interest is what? 10%. 10%. तो बताओ total debenture interest. Total debenture interest is equal to 1 lakh and 60,000. 1 lakh and 60,000, and total debenture outstanding is also itna. Therefore can I say allocation is not required, means this will be 1 lakh and 60,000. But suppose in the balance sheet, suppose मेरी बात समझना, in the balance sheet suppose debenture outstanding is 1 lakh, debenture outstanding 1 lakh, then this 1 lakh will be allocated to A and B in this ratio. आप समझे मेरी बात को? तब उसमें allocate करेंगे. पर यहाँ तो allocation का जरूरत नहीं है, because total debenture interest 1,60,000, outstanding भी कितना है? 1,60,000 है. आप समझे? तो यहाँ एक नोट लिख लो. Note: if in exam question total debenture outstanding is less than total debenture interest, then allocate total debenture outstanding among Mr. A and Mr. B in the ratio of total debenture interest. Total debenture interest. This point you understood? I think you have understood. Well, पहले मुझे बता दो, have you understood this point? What I want to convey? What I want to convey, have you understood? Yes sir, we have understood. बोल दो. Have you understood this point? Yes sir. So this also completed. You can leave one page for balance sheet. आप खुद बैलेंस शीट बना लीजिएगा, करेक्ट ना। इन द क्वेश्चन दे हैव नॉट आस्क्ड यू टू प्रिपेयर बैलेंस शीट, क्योंकि पहले इतना चीज था इसमें, बट लीव वन पेज, यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर बैलेंस शीट बाय योर ओन फॉर दिस क्वेश्चन। आप खुद से इसका बैलेंस शीट बना लीजिएगा, अंडरस्टूड। तो फिर से बताता हूं मैं क्या बोल रहा हूं। इन दिस क्वेश्चन टोटल डिवेंचर इंटरेस्ट इज व्हाट 1 लाख प्लस 60। अब जरूरत है ना कि पूरा इंटरेस्ट आउटस्टैंडिंग होगा। आउटस्टैंडिंग, सपोज कि आउटस्टैंडिंग कैन बी फॉर द लास्ट 2 मंथ, बट इन दिस क्वेश्चन बिकॉज टोटल डिवेंचर आउटस्टैंडिंग एंड total debenture interest outstanding and total debenture interest are same, therefore allocation is not required. So it will be 1,60,000 for Mr. A and Mr. B. But what I am saying, suppose total debenture interest is 1,60,000, but outstanding is 20,000 or 30,000 or 40,000 as the case may be given in the balance sheet, then that debenture interest outstanding will be allocated to Mr. A and B in this ratio। मैं ये बोलना चाह रहा हूँ, करेक्ट ना। तब मजा आता, वैसा दिया नहीं है ना, वैसा दिया नहीं तो आसान क्वेश्चन था। अगर क्वेश्चन सपोज बैलेंस शीट में 50,000 होता तो ऑफ कोर्स 50,000 will belong to A and B in this ratio only, understood now? Yes sir। Let us take one more question, एक क्वेश्चन और ले लें, बोलो। Let us take one more question। Come to question number 9। Question number 9, what they have said, बैलेंस शीट एज एट 31 मार्च 1993। थोड़ा अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, गुड क्वेश्चन। बैलेंस शीट एज एट 31 मार्च 1993, 2 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 is rupees 5 paid up। Now you can see this is what partly called up shares, and 6,008% preference shares of rupees 100 each, 9% debenture interest accrued on debenture। Bank of India means this is what, of course a loan, it is a loan, yes sir। इंटरेस्ट एक्रूड ऑन बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट, अच्छा ये बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट है, मतलब बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट ओडी, करेक्ट। एंड करंट लायबिलिटीज क्रेडिटर, फिक्स एसेट, पेटेंट एंड कॉपीराइट, इन्वेस्टमेंट, करंट एसेट, स्टॉक, डेटर, बैंक, पीएल अकाउंट, करेक्ट, यस सर। प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड इज एरियर फॉर 1 ईयर। प्रेफरेंस डिविडेंड कितने साल का एरियर है, 1 ईयर का एरियर है, ओके सर। प्रेफरेंस शेयरहोल्डर्स टू गिव अप देयर क्लेम, whenever they say preference shareholders to give up their claim, it is always inclusive of what, preference dividend। So it will be, even though question has not mentioned ना, it will be always inclusive of dividend। claim मतलब क्या होता है, उनका सारा claim for capital and claim for dividend, claim for capital and claim for dividend to the extent of 30% and desired to be paid off। बोला कि 30% कम कर दो, बाकी का अभी पेमेंट कर दो, ओके सर। डिवेंचर होल्डर्स एग्री टू गिव अप देयर क्लेम, यहां पर लिखा गिव अप देयर क्लेम, तो इट विल बी इंक्लूसिव ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, इंक्लूसिव ऑफ इंटरेस्ट। नो 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 नो, डिवेंचर होल्डर्स एग्री टू गिव अप देयर क्लेम टू इंटरेस्ट। ओहो, बोला गिव अप देयर क्लेम टू इंटरेस्ट मींस बोला इंटरेस्ट का क्लेम छोड़ना चाहता है, करेक्ट। गिव to give up their claim to interest in consideration of their interest being enhanced by 12%। बोला आज मैं इंटरेस्ट का क्लेम छोड़ दूंगा इफ यू इनहांस द इंटरेस्ट रेट फॉर फ्यूचर, ओके सर, यस सर। बैंक एग्री टू गिव अप 50% ऑफ हिज इंटरेस्ट आउटस्टैंडिंग, बोला 50% ऑफ इंटरेस्ट आउटस्टैंडिंग विल बी वेव्ड, करेक्ट। मींस इंटरेस्ट आउटस्टैंडिंग 15,000, उसका 50% वेव कर देगा इन कंसीडरेशन ऑफ बीइंग पेड अप एडवांस। बोला आज अगर पूरा पेमेंट कर दोगे बाकी का तो मैं 50% ऑफ इंटरेस्ट आउटस्टैंडिंग आई विल वेव, करेक्ट, यस सर। क्रेडिटर वुड लाइक टू ग्रांट अ डिस्काउंट ऑफ 5% इफ दे आर पेड इमीडिएटली, मतलब 5% का डिस्काउंट देगा अगर आज ही पेमेंट कर देंगे, यस सर। बैलेंस ऑफ पीएल अकाउंट, पेटेंट, कॉपीराइट, डेटर, बैलेंस ऑफ पीएल अकाउंट, पेटेंट, कॉपीराइट एंड डेटर ऑफ 30,000 टू बी रिटर्न ऑफ। तो बोला पेटेंट को राइट ऑफ कर दो, कॉपीराइट को राइट ऑफ कर दो, पीएल को राइट ऑफ कर दो एंड डेटर 30,000 इट टू बी रिटर्न ऑफ, ओके। फिक्स एसेट टू बी रिटर्न डाउन बाय 34,000, ओके, राइट डाउन कर देंगे, यस सर। इन्वेस्टमेंट आर टू रिफ्लेक्ट देयर मार्केट वैल्यू, तो मार्केट वैल्यू कितना है चेक करेंगे, मार्केट वैल्यू इज 55,000 एंड इन्वेस्टमेंट इज 65,000 मींस 10,000 का राइट ऑफ कर देंगे, यस सर, यस सर, यस सर। देन पॉइंट नंबर 8 इज इंटरेस्टिंग, what they have said, to the extent not specifically stated, to the extent not specifically stated means in the question it is not specifically stated, yes sir। equity shareholders suffer on reduction of their right, equity shareholders suffer on reduction of their right means it is not mentioned in the question कि how much equity shareholders suffer on reduction. It is simple. Can you see, will prepare capital reduction account, will prepare capital reduction account, and how much balance loss is left, that will be written off by reduction of what? By reduction of equity share capital. It means they have not specifically mentioned कि how much equity shares are going to reduce, but it means in this question we need to prepare capital reduction account, and the balance of means any deficit will be written off by reducing what? Equity share capital. Cost of reconstruction is what? 3350. Okay. Draft journal entry in the books of company assuming the scheme has been put through fully with the equity shareholders, bringing in necessary cash to pay off the party and to leave a balance of 30,000 and prepare the balance sheet after reconstruction. और क्या बोल रहा है कि इक्विटी शेयरहोल्डर विल ब्रिंग नेसेसरी कैश टू पे ऑफ द पार्टी, मींस पार्टी को पेमेंट करने के लिए पैसा भी तो चाहिए, वो भी कौन लेके आएगा? इक्विटी शेयरहोल्डर्स लेके आएगा. मींस वी नीड टू प्रिपेयर वन बैंक अकाउंट आल्सो, अंडरस्टूड? कैन वी स्टार्ट बोलो, कर लेते हैं. तो कम टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 9. क्वेश्चन नंबर 9 पेज नंबर 72. करेक्ट. वन बाय वन विल पास जर्नल एंट्री. देखो, बुक्स ऑफ विच कंपनी, ये तो बेनाम है. जर्नल वन बाय वन. तो फर्स्ट बोला प्रेफरेंस से होल्डर्स टू गिव अप देयर क्लेम इंक्लूसिव ऑफ डिविडेंड टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ 30%. करेक्ट. टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ 30% एंड डिजायर टू पेड ऑफ इमीडिएटली 70% पे करना है. करेक्ट. तो लिखो पॉइंट नंबर 1 का ए. हाउ मच? इट इज 8% प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल. राइट ऑन 8% preference share capital. Account debit, how much? 6 lakh to bank. 70% of 6 lakh, how much? 4,20,000 to capital reduction. Account 1,80,000. So this is the journal entry for capital reduction. ठीक है. Now we'll also pass journal entry for arrear of preference dividend reduction. So क्या 30% is reduced, so for that no journal entry, and 70% of preference dividend is paid, for that journal entry. So what journal entry बताओ? Capital reduction account debit to bank. You can pass two journal entry, preference dividend account debit to bank, and then capital reduction account debit to preference dividend. That is your choice. समझे? Amount कितना होगा बताओ? Amount कितना होगा? Can you give me the amount of this journal entry? Can you give me the amount? Let's see whether you have understood or not. Can you give me the amount? Amount बताओ कितना होना चाहिए? Everyone respond fast. $33,600. Correct. So it was arrear for 1 year. It is 6 lakh into 8% into 1 year into 70%. Correct. So that is 33,600. 33,600. Correct. Yes sir. So I think you have understood. For 30% waiver, no journal entry. For 30% waiver, no journal entry. Point number 1 done. Come to point number 2. Debenture holders agree to give up their claim to interest in consideration of their interest being announced to 12%. ठीक है, okay. तो बताओ इंटरेस्ट एक्रूड ऑन डिवेंचर हाउ मच 1,08,000. So what journal entry? Point number A, interest accrued on debenture account debit 1,08,000 to what? Capital reduction 1,08,000. Okay, sir. Correct. And for this reduction, what they have demanded? They have demanded कि interest को मेरा increase कर दो. तो increase कर दो. Point number B, 9% debenture will now become what? Will now become 12% debenture. 12% debenture. Amount will remain same 6 lakh. Yes, sir. This also we have understood. Simple, simple. ये भी समझ में आ गया? Yes, sir. Then point number 3, bank agreed to waive 50% interest outstanding. अगर आज ही पूरा पेमेंट कर देंगे, पूरा मीन्स देयर इंटायर आउटस्टैंडिंग, करेक्ट? यस सर. तो पॉइंट नंबर 3 वी कैन पास वन कंपाउंड जर्नल एंट्री. क्या करेंगे? बैंक ऑफ इंडिया account debit how much? 1,50,000. Then interest accrued on bank overdraft account debit how much? 15,000 to capital reduction 7,500, and to payment means to bank entire balance amount will be paid. So that is 1,57,500. 1,57,500 done. Or you can pass two separate journal entry. पहले interest को reduce करो, फिर payment कर दो. That is your choice. Correct? So point number 3 also you have understood? Yes sir, we have understood. Point number 4, creditor would like to a discount of 5% if balance paid immediately. लो बचपन में कितने बार एंट्री पास कियो? तो क्रेडिटर अकाउंट डेबिट, तो हाउ मच टोटल क्रेडिटर? 69,000. यस सर, करेक्ट. इसमें डिस्काउंट मीन्स कैपिटल रिडक्शन टू कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट 5%. 5% कितना हुआ बोलो? 69,000 into 5% is 3,450. 3,450 to payment means to bank how much? It is 65,550. 65,550 डन. ये भी हो गया. यस सर, ये भी हो गया. नाउ point number 5 and point number 6 we can do simultaneously, and point number 8 सब मिक्स कर दे कि अलग अलग करें, आपकी बात. तो point number 5 पहले कर देते हैं. कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू क्या क्या बोला? टू राइट ऑफ पीएल अकाउंट. पीएल कितना है बताओ? पीएल अकाउंट इट इज 4,08,000. 4,08,000 टू पेटेंट एंड कॉपीराइट. टू पेटेंट एंड कॉपीराइट, करेक्ट. So that need to be also reduced 80,000 because they have informed. कुछ नहीं बोला तो अपने मन से राइट ऑफ मत कर देना. टू व्हाट? और क्या बोला? टू डेटर. डेटर विल बी रिड्यूस बाय 30,000. टोटल कितना हुआ? तो 4,08,000 प्लस 80,000 प्लस 30,000 इट इज 5,18,000. करेक्ट? यस सर. देन पॉइंट नंबर 6, फिक्स एसेट टू बी रिटर्न डाउन बाय 34,000. वो भी कर लो. करेक्ट, लिखो कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू फिक्स्ड एसेट्स, how much? 34,000. And also in point number 7 they have said investment to reflect their market value, तो उसको भी यही कर देते हैं. टू इन्वेस्टमेंट, इन्वेस्टमेंट कितना कितना था, आई थिंक 10,000 था ना, 10,000, इट नीड टू बी रिटर्न बाय 10,000, ये भी हो गया. करेक्ट. तो दिस इज हाउ मच? 44,000, 44,000. ठीक है. देन दिस इज 6 + 7 कंपाउंड कर दिया मैंने. देन 8 में दे हैव गिवन कॉस्ट ऑफ रिकंस्ट्रक्शन इज 3350, तो उसको पेमेंट कर दो. कैपिटल रिडक्शन, कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट डेबिट टू व्हाट? बैंक, टू बैंक 3350, 3350. Correct. This much. So all the transaction means all the information given the question has been generalized. Now we need to find out 2 points ki how much equity shareholders will reduce and how much equity shareholders will bring. Means for the first point we will prepare capital reduction account and for the second point we will prepare bank account. ये दोनों बना देते हो तो क्वेश्चन कंप्लीट हो जाता है. करेक्ट. तो लीव स्पेस फॉर 2 journal entry, space for 2 journal entry, and then we'll prepare what? Working note number 1. First we'll prepare capital reduction account. पहले क्या बनाएंगे हम? कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट बनाएंगे. बना ले, बोलो. यस सर, बना लो. कैपिटल रिडक्शन अकाउंट. चलो स्टार्ट करें. तो बताओ. बाई 8% प्रेफरेंस शेयर कैपिटल, हाउ मच? It is 1,80,000. Yes sir. Then we have done 2 bank. This is for preference dividend. Preference dividend, how much? 33,600. Correct. Then we have done by interest accrued on debenture 1,08,000. Yes sir. Then we have done by interest accrued on bank overdraft, how much? 7,500. Correct. Then we have done by creditor, how much? 3,450. Then 2 fixed assets, 2 fixed asset, how much? कितना? फिक्स्ड एसेट कितना था? It is 34,000. Then 2 investment, how much? 10,000. Then 2 PL account, 4,08,000. Then patent and copyright, how much? It is 80,000. 2 debtor कितना? 30,000. Then 2 bank reconstruction expense, कितना था? It is how much? 3,350. Now can you give me what is the balance, means how much equity share capital will reduce. बताओ बैलेंसिंग फिगर कितना है एवरीवन, रेस्पॉन्ड. तो बाय इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल हाउ मच. It is 3 lakh. 3 lakh. Yes, sir. 3 lakh. Understood? Yes, sir. Now, I think this though you understood, but I need to explain you some point. Please concentrate. This is very easy. This though you could have done by your own, but what I want to explain, just try to understand. Ki if I say number of shares, then face value, then called a value, then paid up capital. Paid up capital. So, but before this journal entry, what was the position? It is 2 lakh. Number of equity shares. Face value is 10. It is 5 rupees paid up. So it is 10 lakh. Understood? Now it is reduced by 3 lakh. It is reduced by 3 lakh. It reduced by 3 lakh. So now it become what? Check करेंगे. 2 lakh, 7 lakh, 7 lakh means this become 3.5. Means can I say कि called up value means this has been reduced by 1.5. 1.5. Now the question is that whether face value will change. Whether face value will change means whether the class of shares will change. First, if question is silent about changes in the class, will not change by our own. And whenever this situation also arise now, means whenever they have given this type of question, so always assume that there is no changes in the class of shares until unless it is specified in the question. अब समझे नहीं तो बड़ा दिक्कत हो जाएगा. अगर आप क्लास को चेंज कर दोगे तो कितना रिड्यूस करना 1.5 या how much we need to reduce in the face value that we don't know. So simply because question was silent regarding the changes in face value, it means will not change the face value, it will be nil and it will be of rupees 10 only. Means now it is 2 lakh shares of rupees 10, rupees 3.5 called up. Have you understood this point? So this is reduction of equity share capital without changing face value. Reduction of equity share capital without changing face value. But what will be the possible journal entry? Journal entry क्या होगा? Everyone respond. Have you understood this point? Have you understood this point? Have you understood this point? What I want to say? So there is no change in face value. लिख लो as question is silent. So whenever question is silent, don't change it. So journal entry is what? Equity share capital account debit. लिखो equity share capital account debit means you write down rupees 10 only, reduced by 3 lakh to capital reduction. To capital reduction 3 lakh. Yes sir. Understood? Yes sir. Now we'll prepare bank account. Bank account बना लेते हैं. Working note number 2 bank account. So bank account opening balance 10,000 given. Now whatever payment then done in the above journal entry, we will write down fast. देखो by 8% preference share capital 4,20,000. Then by capital reduction This is for preference dividend. Preference dividend. How much paid? कितना payment किया बताओ? How much paid? It is 33,600. Then by interest accrued on bank overdraft, 7,500 paid. Then by Bank of India. बैंक ऑफ इंडिया कितना पे किया? 1,50,000. 1,50,000. Then by capital reduction, reconstruction expense has been paid. तो वो कितना पे किया? 3,350. And by you are paid to creditor also. Creditor how much paid? That is 65,550. Understood this point? Correct. And in the question it is given that they want to maintain a minimum bank balance of 30,000. इसका मतलब closing balance कितना होगा? By balance carried down is equal to 30,000 as per the information given in the question. बताओ how much equity shareholders should bring? How much equity shareholders should bring? बताओ कितना equity shareholder से call करना चाहिए? बताओ everyone. It is 7 lakh. तो लिखेंगे 2 equity share capital 7 lakh. Correct? Yes sir. So what journal entry will do? बताओ. Bank account debit. Bank account debit to equity share capital. To equity share capital. Correct? Rupees 10, 7 lakh. And all the journal entry has been done. Simple. Correct? It means, can I say in this way, कि before this amount brought, what was the position? It was 2 lakh shares of rupees 10, rupees 1.5. It was 3 lakh. Correct? And now, how much has been called? 7 lakh. So it become 10 lakh. It become 10 lakh. Means 10 lakh will appear in the balance sheet. 10 lakh will appear in the balance sheet. अब इस बात को समझ पा रहे हो मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ? बोलो. Sorry. Sorry. This is 3.5. So this was 7 lakh. Before call, so this will be 14 lakh. 14 lakh. Correct? So it means now it become 2 lakh equity shares of rupees 10. Of rupees 10. Rupees 7 called up. Rupees 7 called up now. So in the balance sheet now, this information need to be stated. This information need to be stated. Correct? Understood? Can we prepare balance sheet first? Balance sheet बना ले? Yes sir. तो देखो बैलेंस शीट ऑफ नेम नहीं दिया बट वी राइट ऑन एंड रिड्यूस. एंड रिड्यूस लिख के आना एग्जाम में. एंड रिड्यूस एस एट 31st March 1993. चलो, can we prepare fast? Write down. Point number 1, equity and liabilities. Point number 1, shareholders fund. Point number A, share capital. So now share capital, because preference share has been paid to only equity share capital, it will come 14 lakh. Already I have said how 14 lakh. This is note number 1 you will give. Point number B, reserve and surplus to nil. कुछ नहीं है, nothing has been transferred to what? Capital reserve. So reserve and surplus will be nil. Yes sir. Yes sir. Point number 2, can I say debenture will appear? Yes sir. So non-current liability, it is a long-term borrowing. Long-term borrowing. So now it will be 12% debenture. 12% debenture. How much? 6 lakh. 6 lakh. Correct. Can I say interest will not come? Bank of India also paid. Interest accrued on Bank of India also paid. Creditor also paid. Everything has been paid. So nothing will come. It will remain this only. So total कितना हो बताओ? Total is 20 lakh. 20 lakh. इतना आसान बैलेंस शीट. Point number 2, assets. Point number 1, non-current assets. Point number A, fixed assets. Fixed asset. इसमें point number 1, PP, property, plant and equipment. So I think property, plant and equipment reduced by 34,000, correct? So 11 lakh 40 minus 34 is equal to 11 lakh 6,000. So इसको कर दो 11 lakh 6,000. Then investment, patent and copyright will not come. Investment will come. Look at point number B, non-current investment. That is now 55,000. 55,000. Then current asset में आ जाओ. Point number 2, current assets. Point number A, inventories. Inventories में there is no changes. So inventories कितना? 4 lakh. 4 lakh. Then debtor is reduced by 30,000. तो trade receivable. Trade receivable कितना हो गया? 4 lakh 39 minus 30 means 4 lakh 9,000. Then see cash and cash equivalent. That is to 30,000. Already we have prepared bank account. And PL account will not come. Check करेंगे balance sheet tallied or not. So it is 11 lakh 6 plus 55 plus 400 plus 409 plus 30 is equal to 20 lakh. 20 lakh tallied. Simple. Then बनाओ notes to balance sheet. Only one note will give for share capital. Share capital तो authorized is not known to us. Then issued, subscribed and paid up. So this is what 2 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each, rupees 7 paid up, that is 14 lakh, and balance sheet is done. Correct. Have you understood entire thing? We are left with some few questions. Of course, उसको कल कर लेंगे, आज के लिए इतना. बट यू नीड टू डू वन होमवर्क. इज वन वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन जिसमें थोड़ा सा आपको दिमाग लगाना है. हाउएवर इट इज इजी ओनली. तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 इज योर होमवर्क. फर्स्ट यू डू, देयर आर 2-3 पॉइंट वेयर यू विल हैव सम डिफिकल्टीज जो मुझे समझाना है. आई विल गिव यू द पॉइंट नंबर आल्सो व्हिच इज मोर इंटरेस्टिंग. तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 का पॉइंट नंबर 4 में थोड़ा सोचना. पॉइंट नंबर 4 आपको सोचना है एंड पॉइंट नंबर 5 आपको सोचना है. करेक्ट ना. बैलेंस तो इजी है, आप खुद कर सकते हो. करेक्ट ना. तो पॉइंट नंबर 4 एंड पॉइंट नंबर 5 क्वेश्चन नंबर 11 थोड़ा सा इंटरेस्टिंग है, तो सोच के कीजिएगा. Apart from that, is question number 11 is also easy. We'll of course discuss tomorrow. Then there is one small concept is left that will do, that is surrender of shares. Then this chapter will be completed. This chapter will be completed. Okay, समझ गए? Okay, so for today this much only. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your remaining day. Bye bye.